WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia. Now, this
don't get me going on Saudi Arabia.
This is a very, very long thing to sort of go through from beginning to end. Okay. First things first, they did this press conference. In fact, first things first, they'd actually tweeted out, the Saudi Arabian Sports Authority or whoever, tweeted out and then immediately realised the mistake because they were premature about this, that WrestleMania 43 was going to Saudi Arabia. And then on Friday afternoon, US time, or morning, I think it must have been noon Vegas time, I guess, they basically confirmed it. They had a bunch of wrestlers stood at the back doing nothing, looking like they wished they'd been anywhere else, and that included The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Seth Rollins, Liv Morgan, Logan Paul was there, one or two others as well. I mean, they looked like they were in the firing line. They looked like they were in a hostage video, man. They did not want to be there for the most part. Anyway, a couple of them spoke. We'll get to that in a minute. First, it's Joe Tessitore, waxing lyrical about Saudi Arabia. Then it's Triple H, brown-nosing the Saudi regime, the whole thing. It's like, oh, they're all so wonderful. His Excellency Turkey al-Sheikh, or Sheikh, however you want to pronounce it, comes out, that kind of thing. But it's very, very telling straight away, Dutch, and I'll throw it over to you, that this press conference did not have any members of the press or any members of anyone involved in the audience because they knew the reaction it would get, surely.
So no members of the press were there.
No.
U.S. press.
No members of any press were there. There were no fans, no press. It was silent.
And what was your reasoning for that? Because they knew they were going to get torn up?
Yeah. Do you know how much WWE, do you know how much TKO have made from the WrestleMania deal? Because Saudi Arabia also have the Royal Rumble in 2026, and they have WrestleMania 43. Do you know how much they paid for those two shows for site fees?
I don't know.
$350 million.
Is that a lot for them?
Yeah. It's a lot for anybody, pretty much. For two shows, yeah.
Wow. So do you think, let me ask you this, do you think for the business, the overall health of the business, was it a good thing that WWE was sold to TKO?
I'm wondering about that at the moment because, I mean, it had its bad points under Vince McMahon, obviously, quite a lot of them, mostly creative. But at some point, Vince McMahon was doing things for the good of the fans, or he thought there were things were going too far, like advertising on the ring canvas or jacking up the ticket prices so much that families couldn't afford to go anymore, that kind of thing. Whereas the TKO, they had, like their first 100 days like a president. You've got, that grace period where people think you're better, or than the old regime. And now it's been 18 months or so since Vince McMahon is fully gone and TKO is fully on their own, I guess, without Vince to blame things on. And I think it went well for about a year or so, and now it's just coming out that, these ticket prices are crazy. It's so expensive to be a fan. It's ridiculous.
Well, the ticket prices are unreal. I mean, I don't know how they can't sustain that. I don't think. I may be wrong.
No, well, the thing is, they're looking to up the ticket prices more. They say we've not done it enough. Mark Shapiro said that a few months ago, I think. Said Vince McMahon, and actually said this in a negative way, was trying to price for families. And Mark Shapiro was like, well, we didn't do enough to really jack up those prices, and we're going to be doing it more, and there's still more room for maneuver on adding price to the tickets. It's like,
what are they thinking?
I don't know, double? Who knows? I guarantee you for WrestleMania in a few years' time when it comes back to the States, I'll guarantee you that they'll be selling $100,000 tickets. Guarantee you.
No.
They were selling $70,000 tickets for next year. I think 100,000's in 2 years' time.
A $70,000 ticket.
Yeah.
Isn't that the highest price ticket ever for anything?
For WWE, yeah.
Well, let's take it everything.
Super Bowl. I bet the Super Bowls charge more. The World Cup, but not much more. And that's
Wow.
yeah. Boxing maybe. I don't know.
All right, fans, you heard what James said. What is the highest ticket? This is the question for the week. What is the highest ticket price you've ever heard for any show?
So I'm going to give you
we should get some replies on that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to give you some more stuff. The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vakir, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins. I was surprised Logan Paul was there because he's making $5 million a year, and they just trotted him out to do nothing. Anyway, Triple H takes the podium. They all look like hostages. Self-flagellating.
Okay, what is the lowest they pay a WWE superstar? $350?
$350, yeah.
So to look at $5 million as opposed to $350,000, it's like they're getting a short end of the stick. But it's $350,000 whether they show up or not, whether they're booked or not. They're still going to make $7,000 a week. That's $1,000 a day to stay home if you're not booked. That's not a bad little deal.
No, it's not a bad little deal. But suddenly WWE pays, out of all the major sports franchises, the absolute least to their performers as well. Like NFL or NBA will pay about 50% to the performers, and WWE pays more like 10 to 12%. And they're making more money than ever. And I'd sort of doubt that apart from a few like major names who I think get extra payoffs for turning up in Saudi Arabia, I'm not even I'm sure like people on 350, I'm not even sure they get a bonus for doing the Saudi Arabian shows.
Well, but yet still, if they go and they agree to a $350 payoff or a salary, they can't complain because they agreed to it up front. So they're obligated to it. Now, there are some people who refuse to go to Saudi Arabia.
Who? Who? And CM Punk doesn't anymore. He went. Sami Zayn goes.
But I meant to say earlier, and Sami Zayn didn't go because of what?
I think it's because he's also Muslim, but I believe
he's a Muslim, right?
But he's also aligned with Syria. I think his family is Syrian, and Syrians and Saudi Arabians apparently don't get along. So,
but he's not Muslim, right?
He is Muslim. Yeah,
he is Muslim.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get to the rest of it. Triple H announces a dear friend, His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh. He's changing the face. He is called Turkey. He is changing the face of sports and entertainment, apparently, but purely through outrageously overpaying sports franchises. Let me give you some of them. So, you might have read this. Tom Brady.
I did read this.
Right, tell us about that. What happened? What's happening there?
With who? Tom Brady?
Yeah, with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a wrestler.
I'm sorry. I did read that, but I don't know what's going on there. What is going on there?
They're doing flag football with a bunch of like NFL legends.
So they're going to have a little flag football game, and they charging money to watch that?
Yeah.
Or no?
Well, they're paying outrageous money to bring them over. I'll tell you that for nothing.
How much are they paying them?
Don't know. But Saudi Arabia pays outrageous money for everybody because otherwise they wouldn't go there. So.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Since we're talking about Saudi Arabia, do the people work there? Do they have to work?
Yeah.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
But say they don't have a job. Do they still get money from the government?
Best I know, no. I don't know, unless there's a welfare thing. I don't really know that much about Saudi Arabia.
I don't either. That's why. Well, you're supposed to know everything.
I don't know everything.
You read, you read all this stuff, but I did know. I remember that Sami Zayn would not go to Saudi Arabia because of political differences. And who else didn't go? You brought their name up.
It was CM Punk, but then he did.
Okay, now what was the reasoning for CM Punk that he didn't go?
Because I guess of Saudi Arabia's horrendous. I mean, the irony is that, you know, putting over a country that basically You know, with CM Punk, he's holding up signs, saying support LGBTQ plus youth and all that kind of thing. Then he goes to Saudi Arabia, where homosexuality is punishable by death. And then the week afterwards, he goes to a pro-gay rally in Chicago. It's like, you're sending mixed messages there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then also describe people who go to Saudi Arabia as taking blood money and then afterwards eating those words and pretending he never said them.
Well, I heard I've said this before, you don't, two things you don't let out, your religion and your political affiliation. You don't let out your Democrat, Republican, or anything like that, because you keep it to yourself, because your friends who you thought were your friends might not be your friends anymore. So keep it quiet.
That being said, let's move off from CM Punk. So once again, the Saudi regime, NFL, Live Golf, Formula One, tennis, UFC, boxing. There was controversy with boxing. The TKO are also getting into boxing now. They hosted or promoted the Canelo versus Crawford fight, and they immediately went on the warpath against all journalists they thought were critical against TKO, UFC, boxing, or the Saudi regime by barring them. So therefore, they're creating their own little pro-propaganda echo chamber deal.
Any writer that was critical of Saudi Arabia, the way they're doing it now, were banned?
Yes. They were not allowed to do press conferences or anything. Yeah.
Could they be in the country?
Trust me, you would never want to be in a country like Saudi Arabia and criticize the Saudi Arabian government publicly, because they would throw you in jail. They have, and in fact this brings it up, His Excellency Turki al-Sheikh actually has a prison wing named after him, informally, that are filled with basically people who have gone onto social media criticising him. An entire wing. So if you've been on social media, sent messages criticising Turki al-Sheikh, and they find out about it, they will arrest you, they will put you in prison for a very, very long time.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's basically a totalitarian
regime. Is this, how many in that jail or prison are foreigners?
Oh, quite a few, I'd say. Not too many. I don't know how much foreign traffic they get through there, really, ultimately, but they will even keep tabs on Saudi Arabian citizens in other countries, and if they ever come back and they find out that they criticised the regime, they will then arrest them.
Now, that to me is a fascist government. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about people being fascist, the Saudi Arabian government are actively doing it now, correct?
Yeah, surveillance, interfering more apparently in citizens' lives and that kind of thing. Apparently that is, murdering journalists in embassies who are critical of them. It has happened. Also, once again, WWE are in bed with these people. Anyway, as are a lot of sporting franchises these days. I could go more on the human rights violations and, no rights to protest, no right to criticise, women are second-class citizens, all that kind of thing, but you've heard it before. So let's go back to the press conference. Turkey sits down. Undertaker sits next to him because, quote, Turkey likes that. Now, Undertaker was part of the trophy presentation for...
The guy. Turkey, the guy.
Yes.
The way you said it, I thought you were talking about the country. But his name is Turkey.
Yeah.
And Undertaker sat next to him, and he liked it.
Yes, he liked it. Or it was claimed he liked it by Joe Tessitore, I think. Anyway, Undertaker is really saying, yeah, he'll be, the fans of Saudi Arabia. People are going to be really pleasantly surprised. He was so underwhelmed by having to do it. But the thing is, like Undertaker, he's been with Vince McMahon to Saudi. He's done other Saudi engagements. I'm sure he's been paid very handsomely. He's not above taking Saudi Arabian money. Bianca Belair then talked about how Saudi Arabia is a great place for women, amazingly. And then apparently, despite the fact that they've got to wear these full body stocking burkini kind of things, because, bare skin, apparently the locals would go mad for any bare skin, which they censor, of course, after the fact as well. What else was I going to say? Yes, Bianca Belair talking about, it's going to make a special thing, special moments for women, especially for whatever reason. And then there's been photos recently of some of the WWE girls in bikinis, supposedly on a beach in Saudi Arabia, and like the propaganda's like, oh, this is our, you think we censor, you think we're, ultra conservative kind of thing, but doesn't mention that there's only a couple of beaches in Saudi Arabia where like they have like special dispensation to let women wear bikinis and have like skin showing. So it's total propaganda that's going through the internet as well, and some idiots are retweeting it. Anyway,
see, what would mess me up about Saudi Arabia? You may do something and not even know it's illegal.
Oh, do you know what's happened?
They tell you.
I don't know if in Saudi Arabia, but it's also happened in other Middle Eastern countries. You can just be accused in the streets of, saying something against religion, whatever religion it might be. It's obviously Islam, but you can just be killed in the street. It's happened. People will just turn around and kill you. Yeah.
And this, just like, how would you be killed? Shot?
It happened in Pakistan recently. This isn't Saudi Arabia, but yeah, this happened. I think a woman accused another woman of denying the existence of God or something like that, and then other people got involved in the street and stoned her to death. I mean, no prosecutions or anything.
Well, now we know why Sami Zayn didn't want to go.
Yeah, well, he's going now. So once again, that's another country. But
why is he going?
I don't know. Pay.
I'll say no more.
But that's the case with a lot of countries under Sharia law. So, but once again, it's like that's going to turn off, I guess, a lot of Westerners going over there because, as you said, Dutch, you might do something, or someone might accuse you of something, and you don't know how to react to it, or some circumstance where you get yourself into trouble. But once again, you can be put to death for one, denying the existence of God. You can be put to death for sorcery, whatever that means, like witchcraft and sorcery.
Well, sorcery is, I think, a term that can take in just another religion.
Could be.
And these are all Muslims?
In Saudi Arabia, you better be, yeah. So,
remind me not to go there.
Well, yeah, I'd be terrified to go there because, one, I've openly criticised the regime, so they would find that out and then arrest me and put me
I'd turn you in myself.
I know, you call them in advance.
I'd say, hey, this guy here has been hammering you people for a long time. Not me, of course.
I'll speed through the rest of this. Turkey actually speaks, sort of, actually brings up that the office accidentally tweeted out and then prematurely announced the news and then deleted it. He said he kept bringing up Vince McMahon, incredibly, which Vince is generally a banned term in WWE, but, their relationship that started with Vince McMahon and Triple H. We believe that the Saudi regime is going to try and bring back every single living pro wrestling legend to be a part of WrestleMania 43, because originally in 2018 when the Saudis started working with WWE, they wanted the Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna to appear. So big fans.
I read that. So should we tell them?
No.
You want to tell them?
I don't know.
You want me to tell them?
Well, anyway, that was the joke where they got another like legit sumo wrestler in the greatest Royal Rumble ever because they couldn't get Yokozuna. They just thought, oh, any fat guy will do. Get him out there, and that was it.
Yep. Well, but see, this reads like they're stuck in time. I mean, I'm gonna let it go, but
yeah. Okay, I'll give you a couple more things, right, and then we'll move on. We've already talked about the ticket prices and blaming Vince McMahon. New Orleans isn't going to get a show in the next couple of years, despite the fact that they won a bid for WrestleMania and then it got taken away from them. What else? Here's the thing. Okay, here's the main question. $350 million, that's a huge amount for two shows when, New Orleans probably paid less than 10 for WrestleMania. That's just a guess on my behalf. That being said, WWE...
Okay, you said the city paid 10.
I'm guessing New Orleans may have paid 10 and then the offer got rescinded and they had to buy out the contract to go back to Las Vegas. because they made a lot more money in Vegas and now Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania is never going to be anywhere apart from Saudi Arabia with those prices.
I mean, they'll go to Saudi Arabia. Well, they'd like to go every year, but I don't think they can. But at this point, they'll go every 2 years to Saudi Arabia.
I bet they will.
Because the money's too big.
But they don't need the money. That's my point, Dutch. They make money hand over fist. Even from last year, they're building profits like there's no tomorrow. Why would they want to risk the ill will of the fans even further by going to Saudi Arabia? This has upset a lot of people. Like, the money isn't worth it if you're just going to cost yourself fans. Do you know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, will we stop watching them?
We've got to cover it. You'd have to start watching to stop watching, Dutch.
Oh, yeah. Well, but that is huge. I mean, it's unbelievable money.